Oh, is that the fade in?
I think so. But I think we're live.
I'm going to check.
Check our phone.
If we're live, what's going on, everybody? Oh, I just got the notification. Week 1 of 52.
What's it look like?
Looks like,
Yeah, it works. We are live.
we're dancing, buddy.
All right, so
Again, like we said earlier, we've fully taken on the role of our parents. We're figuring this out as we go.
So, this is day 1 of 52. We're not entirely sure exactly what we're going to talk about, but I know this. We have fun talking to each other, so let's just get the mumbo jumbo, that stuff out of the way, and talk and just kind of briefly introduce ourselves. My name's Tom Talby. I've been married for darn near 20 years now, almost coming up in June. I have 3 boys. This is Quentin Suggs. He's taken virtually almost the same path, but slightly different, and I'll let him kind of introduce himself.
Yeah, so we're going to cross over on each other's page. So for Tom's friends that don't know me, Quentin Suggs, we went to middle school together. That's when we first met, and like we said, we just meet good people in life. You just stay together, and we're fortunate enough to have each other. And he's got his 3 sons. I've got my 3 daughters. So kind of the similar path in life, but different. So we're
30 years?
Yeah,
30 years?
I think so.
Did you see the wheels turning in my head trying to count what that was? This is 2021, 1991. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah. So long time friendship, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to cover, and when we were talking about his 3 boys and my 3 girls, we kind of named ourselves the Brady Bunch just now. So
it is. It's exactly what it is. So
we'll see.
Tracing back, just kind of our relationship, right? So we meet each other in middle school, and going way back when Northgate Mall was actually a mall and people went to it. I worked at a place. My first job was a place called Brendan Moore's. And if you don't remember it, Brendan Moore's was a sporting goods store. It wasn't just a shoe store. You could actually get like sporting goods in there.
Yeah, kind of like a Champ Sports.
Yes, it's a good lead-in.
Yeah.
Because when Brendan Moore shut down, he worked at Champs. I made the switch to another mall store and worked with Champs. Now we're working together again. Not talking about work. So if you hear the bell, right? We've got some topics that we won't tell you guys what they are, but we've got some topics that ultimately we're not going to cross. So if you hear the bell, that means one of us or one of you chimed in with a topic that we're not going to talk about, because this is not going to be something that's going to be, the goal is to not offend anybody. It's really going to be fun. It's going to be loose, and it's going to be about, ultimately nothing, right? What's going on, right? So we're talking about Champ Sports and the mall. Have you been to the mall?
Man, I got out of retail 10 years ago, and I don't think I've been back into a mall in 10 years. So no, I'm clueless to that world.
So I had a tradition every year that, especially as you buy stuff online now, right? It was, and I grew up over behind Northgate Mall. And so the tradition was, even when you're buying stuff online, I would always make one trek to Northgate and, go to whatever store. Typically it was 1 or 2 different places that I'd hit every single year, get the necessities for Christmas, and walk out. Whether it was Bed Bath & Beyond, or do you remember the awful, was it Hickory Farms?
Yeah, little smoke
when it just popped up.
Yes.
You'd buy, that was your grab bag stuff. Yes. You'd buy that. This was actually the first year that I didn't, but only because I had found out or heard that either they had opened up later, like in the day, as opposed to like the usual 10 o'clock, right? And whether I didn't have time for it or whatever, but never made it to the actual mall. But the last time I was there, you look around and there was literally 3 stores.
Yeah.
Sears was gone, Macy's was gone, McAlpin's used to be there, that was gone.
We just drove by it, and it's got like space available signs on where the Lazarus used to be on the sign. It's just that world is gone.
Yeah, it's complete. And how much space are they actually taking up with
So I take it back. It's been less than 10 years. I went over at Eastgate. There was like a whole wing, Blackout Tees or something like that. I think is the name of the company. They got like a batting cage in there, and then they got like a child like a rec center. They got the tunnels you can climb through. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese on steroids.
Yeah.
So it's the things that some people are getting creative to do with these old mall spaces is
Well,
exactly what it is. It's creative.
you know what's still there? I don't know if it has the same name, and maybe you'll remember this, maybe you won't. Tilt. Tilt was still there the last time I was there. You know what Tilt was?
Is that the little fence in the middle where the kids play?
No, it was the arcade. The one little arcade.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I remember going there as a kid, and you did as a kid you didn't have any money, so you just raided mom and dad's like change jar or whatever it was.
Yep.
And you walked in there with like $4 of quarters, and you went to the arcade. And
So I grew up closer to Gold Circle,
yes,
and me, Doug Ratchley, Crouch, we used to get on our bikes and ride at the Gold Circles because they had a pretty good, sweet game room there, and that's all that's gone now as well. But yeah, that was my game room. I never hit Northgate as often as you living closer to it. I live closer to that one, so that was the Gold Circle was the rival mall.
well now it's post office.
Yeah,
It's post office and Home Depot, right? So
that's great.
not to stay necessarily on the mall topic, but when you used to go to the mall growing up, if you got there too early, whether it was for work or whatever, you would see people just walking.
Mm-hmm.
Like they open the doors for people just to walk, right? The mall walkers. So does that still take place? Is that all that the malls?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it is a great place to just walk because it's indoor. It's the weather we live in. It's great. I remember one time it was an older gentleman walking through, and he would buy, again going back, payphones. So he'd walk in and they had the payphones in the little cubby holes, and he'd reach his finger in there to see if anybody left change. So I saw this guy, and I was at Champs Day, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! I'm going to make this guy's day." So I ran across, just walked down that Champs wing, and you come back. And I ran in, I threw a quarter in the change machine. I walked back the guy pulled his quarter out, put it in his pocket, and didn't miss stride. I was disappointed because I thought this old man was going to be like, I found a quarter. He just kept going. I was like,
You should. It would have been awesome if you just tied a string to it, and just kept pulling it away.
Right. Pull it out, yank it out of his hand. That's great.
I was working at the mall. You never knew what you were going to get, right? Did you ever run into? I'm sure at Champs we did, but a shoplifter, right? You had a shoplifter, and you get the store next to you that would call, right? And you're like, "Hey, look out for such and such." So it was my
100%.
second day on the job, and I remember I was at Brenda Moore's, and we got a call from another. Gosh, I couldn't even tell you what store it was, but look out for this person. They just left our place. They're heading into yours. So we had our mark, right? We knew who it was. They're coming up. They're going to try to buy. They're going to try to buy something. And I get called and said, "Keep this person here. They're stealing stuff." And I remember thinking to myself, like, this is my first job. I've literally worked 2 days ever. And she says, "You got to keep her here. I don't care what you have to do." So I think the lady thought that I was trying to keep her there. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't know how to do my job. She's writing a check. Back when you wrote checks, right? So maybe some of you still do. I do sometimes, but not as much.
Yeah.
And I've got the check, and I remember I've got her driver's license, and I'm writing so slow to the point where it's 5 minutes for me to try to process this check. In the meantime, I'm waiting for mall security to come and take this girl away. She finally quits, takes her bags, and just walks off with the stuff anyway.
Right.
So instead of even trying to pay for it, she could have just left from the get-go. But I guess if you're stealing, you've got to find different ways to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's what we always say. And, that's their job. That's their craft. They get good at it. So just like anybody gets good at a job, thieves, they get good at their job.
Yeah. It was the time. I guess times were just different. You talked about payphones, right? So, how old's your oldest daughter?
19.
And she's been driving for how long?
I mean, I guess he really started driving at 17. So, because her birthday's wintertime, layover, and all that fun jazz. So, yeah, 2 years.
And then your second daughter, how old is she?
She just turned 16.
And when's she getting her license?
Roughly 6 months from now.
Okay, so my oldest turned 16 in October, and he got his license in early January. It's a scary time as a parent to kind of go through that, and you're kind of letting them go out on their own, right? And I started thinking about back, not to date myself, but to date myself that, in the mid 90s when.
How old men are we right now?
Phones,
payphones, electronics.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. Like, literally,
that's our audience, right? Is our age group, all the young people clowning on us, whatever. You're going to have this moment in your life.
So, and it hit me
great.
in Best Buy, right? So, like, you've seen the Progressive commercials where the guy's like, "Don't be your parents," right? And like, we're talking to this guy, like, we have no idea what we're buying, and we told him exactly what we're going to try to do, and we told the guy, like, "Look, this is going to suck. We're going to go ahead and do it, but we need a webcam." And he's called super nice guy. Again, Jalen at Best Buy. And we're talking to him, and we're asking him, like, trying to ask him these questions, like, well, what's a good one? Does it hook up to my laptop? How does it hook up to my laptop? Do I need anything else? Simple stuff to me, right? And he's like, "Oh, no, this is a good one here." He said, "You don't need 4K." He said 4K. He said, "You guys don't need 4K. I don't know really how we were supposed to take that. But, like, we don't. It's 1080p, so we're coming live, since 2010 right now.
Yes.
But we get in line. I said to Q, I said, "Dude, I swear we just became our parents."
Yeah, 100%.
Talking to that guy. Like, what happened to the days? I know Nicole would have killed me if her and I were sitting there next to this guy, and I'm just basically just doing what I do, just talking to people, trying to make you want to have. Yes. Like, can we just go? Like, buy? Yeah. I'm not trying to. Maybe if he's nice, he'll give me a discount.
It is what it is. Jeff's the same way. Like, that's enough questions. Time to go. It's not your buddy. Don't create some relationship. It's who we are, and it just comes with. It comes with it.
Well, you mentioned
That's great.
You mentioned payphones, right? So when you first start driving, and I remember it was the biggest deal to me to get a pager, right? A Motorola pager.
Yeah, your brother said maybe we should have asked for a 720p. Greek brother.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. We look a little bit alike. A little bit. Just a tad bit. So I don't know who's that's a knock on me or a knock on you. But I love you anyway. So you'll remember a lot of this stuff too. You were probably, I don't know, did you have a pager? I did. It was a Motorola. It clipped on your belt.
Yes.
Right? And you thought you were the coolest kid because people could get to you within 15 minutes of calling you.
Yes.
Because when you got the page, looked at it, then you had to find the nearest payphone.
Oh, you say muscle memory?
There wasn't texting and driving. It was like paging while driving. No. Well, guess they love me more.
Right.
But you would have to stop, go to a payphone, and then hope that you had 25 cents, a quarter, not just 25 cents, a quarter, to make the call to whoever it was, hoping that they didn't hang up, or if they left you the message, right?
Yep.
You guys remember, like, the old school, like, 911. What else was it? 911?
I don't remember, man.
There was more than that.
Yeah, there were as far as the urgency, or sometimes it was just some of the codes that people punched in with the numbers. I don't remember.
I remember seeing the number, and you would know exactly what it was. 911 obviously was like, "Hey, call me. We got to meet up, or we got we're doing something, right?" Or you sat there and listened to the voicemail. Nowadays,
I might have to put that on your mom right there. It's a career-related topic.
Yeah, we don't talk about work. We don't talk about work. This is strictly business, non-business.
Yeah.
Mom, get with the program. You should have checked in early when you watched this drive with video We should have I swear we should have taken video at Best Buy, but nonetheless, the transition from the pager to the Nokia cell phone.
Yeah.
The Nokia. Do you remember the Nokia cell phone?
It's like a brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like that thick, and it was like that tall, and you couldn't put it anywhere.
The Zach Morris phone.
Yes,
Right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You couldn't put it anywhere, and like you had a clip. Like you almost had to clip it because if you put it in your pocket.
Oh, you talking about I talking the smaller Nokias, like in the late 90s.
Yeah. Not the
like
yeah.
the original.
No.
They had like a charger with it, a big brick phone. And, okay, so yeah, the Nokia that everybody under the sun had.
Yeah.
It's like the iPhone.
The blue Nokia,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was probably that big.
Yep.
Really thick. You couldn't put it in your pocket. You had to carry it in your hand or clip it on.
And then they had to want to be the flip, so it was just the phone, but a little plastic thing covered the number, so it appeared like a flip.
Yeah. That's it. Yes. And there was one game on it, and it was like Pong.
Yeah.
And, you hit the things, and it was like, and you hit the ball back.
The BlackBerry had the snake game, right? Or
Yes,
bricks.
the bricks.
Bricks, yes.
Bricks. So then you transform from BlackBerry or from that to, was it the BlackBerry next, or was it the
BlackBerry was
the flip phone?
for the rich people.
Yeah, yeah.
You arrived when you had a BlackBerry once upon a time. Man, that's hilarious.
So, do you remember? Well, the flip phone was like the first, and that had to be the flip phone because
Where's my glove? Parents still won't let them have a pager. What?
right, it's long distance. It's long distance where you are.
Yeah, 10 cents a minute. Man. Come on,
You got to get unlimited data and join.
9 cents a minute.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. Thanks for that, Mark. That was good.
Think about this, right? So think about how much the world changed in that transition from the Nokia
Mm-hmm.
to whatever was next. Because you know what happened after the Nokia?
It's your smartphone.
Your camera.
Yeah. Oh.
Your camera.
Yeah.
Think about how much stuff you would miss. Remember buying minutes. Yes, you have to take it up there, buy your minutes,
Oh,
plug
yes.
them in.
Yes.
It's true. It was the progression from the Nokia to the camera phone, which probably led to pretty much probably what we're doing right now.
Like data, like you said, man. Just once you left the 275 loop,
Yeah.
like you couldn't use your phone anymore because it kicked over to data, and the minutes went up,
Yeah.
and the cost went insanely high. The things we don't even. Oh man, that's so far removed from my thoughts because the 275 loop, literally, you had service within that.
Yeah.
And as soon as you went out to like Eggleston,
It's gone.
whatever that ballpark is now, or Rumpke Ballpark, it's like, dude, I can't call you anymore because I'm going to the ballpark on the outside of the loop, and it kicks over to data, and I don't get reception. I'm gonna drop the call, and it costs like 45 cents a minute to use my data plan.
Right. I'll call you in an hour.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't even feel that anymore. It doesn't even cross our thoughts.
Or I'll wait till I get home and use my landline. Right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember, like, I thought it sounded like Chris Farley. Remember the Chris Farley show? Like, do you remember, like, on Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
yeah.
you know, that's awesome.
That was awesome, yeah. Do you remember? So, do you remember having a landline and then going to the cordless phone, right? So, like, your girlfriend was going to call you.
Yep, everyone's antenna was broken.
Yeah. Yes, remember the silver antenna? Snapped off. Like, what happened? I don't know. I was laying on my bed talking to so-and-so, and I rolled over and it broke. Daggone it. Right? And they all looked the same.
Yes.
It was gray, had the battery pack on the bottom. Yeah. But you could, you could take your cell phone and you'd go in your room or go downstairs or wherever it was that you went.
Yep.
And you talk for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
Battery's dying.
So my world, right, and I'll let you in on this. This was, it's kind of an inside joke, but so my wife, Nicole, growing up, her family, they didn't have call waiting. So when that phone was tied up, it was tied up.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a sister and a brother, and then her parents. If they were on the phone,
When's the last time we heard a busy signal?
oh my gosh. Usually the only time The only time you hear a busy signal, it's not even a busy signal anymore. It denies the call. You ever heard that? Like,
Yes.
you call, like, this is gonna, like, call denied. Or call, like,
I tried to call you, but it was denied.
It was busy.
Yeah.
was it busy? Like,
Right.
I call, everybody's got call waiting. But, like, can you imagine kids that today? Well, they don't even talk on the phone, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, it's all text or
Snapchat.
Snapchat, you know. It was, again, going back to, like, do you think all that stuff, like, without, if the camera phone was never developed, where would we be? Because you've got video everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere. No matter where you're at, you're always being filmed, or could have the possibility of being filmed.
Right.
Like,
So we're dropping with Life 360 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You see everything. You know everything. And once upon a time, that wasn't a thing. I mean, you're winging it. You're on your own. Just the faith and the trust that you have that they're in a safe place. And
Right.
How you call your mom? I'll call my
Yeah.
mom. You say you're staying in my house. I'm
I
staying
said,
in my house.
oh, give me over.
Over.
I know where
Life
you're at.
360. Liar.
You're not on your way home.
Yeah, so you know, you hear like professional athletes and stuff say that, you know, if they would have had social media in their day,
Right.
I mean that could be the same, because if you know, when we were kids and we did that
Yeah.
stupid adolescent stuff,
It's far more.
we got away with it.
It's far more dangerous. That portion of it is far more dangerous.
Yes. So
But can you imagine?
you know, it's being on this side of parenting. It's like,
Yeah.
glad I didn't have it. Glad I do.
Can you imagine? I saw a picture yesterday, might even been today, like on Twitter. Like, it was a picture of Pete Rose. He was somewhere. I don't know if it was like a softball park or whatever, but I want to say he was smoking a cigarette and Dave Parker was smoking a cigarette. Can you imagine, like, athletes like at that time, like having social media and the stuff, like the camera phones and the stuff that they
Oh my goodness.
probably did that nobody knows about?
I can't even wrap my head around that.
to hang out with like a Mickey Mantle.
Right. I can't even wrap my head around that thought of what it would be. And we lived it, you know, we lived without all the
Right.
technology and the roaming free. And
Well, Sports Center
I
used to be
couldn't imagine what athletes and just people did. You know, has it governed us to keep our acts clean? Maybe. I don't know.
You said governed.
Nothing That was loose stuff. What would you call that oversaw you?
Yeah.
What's that word if we can't use that word?
You could say this. You could say, I don't know, but you can't say God. You almost got me.
That's good.
You know, going back to kind of where things were, kind of, you know, where they are now. We had to pull over to make those calls.
Yeah.
You know, now the trust level though has to be so high.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
So I remember going back to the payphone. This seems to be a hot topic. We just titled this the payphone. We'd go to the mall. Parents drop you off. You have a parent take one way, parent pick up one way, and you know, we go with no money at all.
Yeah.
And just call collect.
Yes.
They called my house collect. So yes, we have a collect call from Quentin. Will you accept?
No.
No. that was the signal to come pick us up. So we took advantage of the situation then and got our ride home without having to pay 25 cents, the back-breaking 25 cents to have an 8-second conversation. Mom, we're ready. Pick us up by Lazarus.
Didn't it go? Didn't this? I thought this was stupid too. Like if whoever owned like a payphone company, like this was a horrible decision. Didn't it jump to like 30 cents?
Yeah, I think the last I remember a payphone was like 35 cents, which was the most tedious thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's first world, right? 2 coins.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I remember Travis Tritt had that old country song, "Here's a quarter, call someone who cares." It's like, that's outdated. Right? 35 cents now. We need a dime here.
It's like
The problem.
Can you just bump it to 50?
Right.
Like why? Like I've got 2 quarters. I don't need to fumble through
Yeah.
to get 35 cents.
The price we pay for convenience.
Right.
Yeah.
And now what was the Brad Paisley song? Like, it's like I've got it on my phone. No, he's like, I forget the actual name of the song, but
I don't know.
he's talking about, Welcome to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about, like, how back then he wanted a Pac-Man game, and now he's got it on his phone,
right?
You know, or he's holding, you know, before we went through and Zoom became huge, you know, talking about having teleconference, right? So who would have thought, like, we all thought, like, in 2000, like, remember the cartoon The Jetsons?
Yes.
Right?
100%.
And, like, we were going to have flying cars by the year 2000, and, like, teleconferences. Like, we're almost there. Like, we've got teleconferences.
Yeah.
So, like, 21 years past what the Jetsons actually said was just that.
Yeah, it's good because we dropped our oldest off to school and just to keep in touch because all the silliness that's going on towards she has to be in a room by herself right now because of what's going on campus. You like how I avoided that topic without saying anything? So that's another one in case you guys picked up on where that could have potentially gone. But yeah, the game Rummikub. Yeah, we love that game as a family. And it's, you know, we'll FaceTime and we got the app Rummikub, so we're all sitting around as a family on our phones playing Rummikub, you know, 13 hours apart and just chiming in. So that there's so much good that's coming out of technology.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, thinking about it, like the game Scrabble, like you could learn it, good and bad, right? So like, like I'm probably too lazy to actually get the box out of Scrabble and play the game.
The price we pay for
yeah, right?
Yes.
Like, hey, Carson, Nicole, Austin, Blake, let's play. Well, Blake can't read, but Blake, team up with me. We can play Scrabble, right?
Yeah.
I would just assume, like, send them words with friends. And then we'll just play on our phone. That way, I don't have to clean up all the 8 million pieces.
Right. Never thought of that. That is, yeah.
It's way more convenient.
We play Life, Monopoly, and stuff.
Wait.
You know, it's a family game night, and it's like part of the family game night is like, gotta get it out, and clean it up, right?
No, speaking of games though, like I don't know how often like you guys do it, but like when we get together with friends, you know, just say like once a week or on a weekend or even camping, there's a couple of games out there that are more of the newer school, right? Like, one is we've got it down there. It's called In the Bag.
Yeah.
Right. So we went to Gatlinburg with some friends and we played that pretty much every night, right? So the premise of that is you get 10 cards, right? It kind of takes like all those games that you know, those party games that you've seen, right?
Right.
You take those cards, you take those 10 cards, they go in a little bag. Same cards, right? Everybody gets it. So you would get the first round. You get a timer. It's like maybe 30 seconds, and you pull out a card, right? And you can use words and try to describe it, and I would have to guess,
right?
And then when that's over, you hand it to, let's just say it was guys versus girls. You hand it to the girls. They would do the same thing.
Okay.
Right? And then when the bag is out, when all the bag is out, all 10 cards are out, you switch to another round using the same cards, but now instead of getting to use words, I have to actually act out what that word is, right? So it could be elephant. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That was good.
Then the girls will do the same thing. And
that's how we find out if the audio is good.
Yeah.
That sounded all fake, guys.
So then the next round, you get one word. Right? So what it turns out being is a bunch of grown-ups playing elephants,
right?
Yelling and screaming at each other for, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour, until the bag. But everybody's using the same cards the entire time, right. So like
that's interesting. That's funny. Different ways to interpret that same thing. Yeah,
it's cool. So if you've seen the game, it's in the bag. Check it out. It's actually pretty sweet. But I'll warn you. And have you ever found this? Like, you go and do something once, and you try to recreate it.
Yeah.
And it sucks the second time you recreate it.
Yeah.
It's never like so. Keep the receipt on that game, because the first time you're going to love it, but then go ahead and take it back, because it's never going to be the same as the first time you play it, because the first time you don't know what to expect. What's the one game?
We got hooked on a new game. It's called Quicks. It's a dice game, it's phenomenal. You can play with unlimited people. The more people, you got to wait longer to go around. But QWIXX, it's a little dice game. You get yellow, red, green, blue, and then 2 white die. You roll them. The white dice are communal. Everybody uses that number, and you fill out a scorecard. But say if the white die is like a 6, if you fill in that 6, you don't get to use anything before that. So you avoid that until you start at 6, and you got to fill out everything 2 through 12, and you close that color out. On my roll, I can use my white die and a combination of 1 white die and 1 color die to fill out those. So that's another game that I don't know how we got on new modern games from talking about freaking payphones and stuff like that. But hey, it's a conversation about nothing.
Right.
We all have them, and you guys can partake.
And I don't even know what to say. This is like what? Yeah, like
we had a 30-minute timer to see how much downtime we were going to have. If you guys heard it go off, like, can we make 30 minutes? And this is just a reflection of conversations that we all had. You just get so consumed with it, you bounce all over the place, and that's what we're truly. We're 30 minutes into the episode, and this is our sales pitch, and this is what we're doing, man.
Yeah.
Just when you chime in, you have lull downtime in your day. You can reflect back, you can comment. We'll check these things out throughout the day and interact, and bring up some great memories and throw out some topics for next week, and relive some great moments. So hopefully we can bring back some of your stuff from the past and whatever.
So some of the ways that we're looking at some of kind of what we're doing here is we don't really spend a whole lot of time in the office, but
right.
So right now you're probably not either. So
you're watching.
treat us as your office people, right? So like, hey,
downtime.
Yeah,
Kevin Carlin, Dad, shut up. This
is what you're not working either.
What are you doing?
But to that sense of this is day 1, or I guess week 1 of 52. We are going to do this 1 day a week for 52 weeks. We don't know where this is going to end up, where this is going to take us. Today we got up this morning like, hey, what are we going to do? I don't know, let's go buy a webcam. Sounds good, we're going to do it. So maybe our technology will get a little bit better. Maybe, there'll be some days where our communication is going to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I know, like, it's fun talking with him, and we laugh. So why not? You guys can just laugh with us or laugh at us. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But if you've seen us today, thanks so much. Next week, I'm not sure if it's going to be every Thursday about the same time.
Yeah, we'll try. I'm on my lunch kick with reconnecting with a lot of people. Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
And Thursday I'm going to try to leave open just so we can do this, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is what my lunches are like. It's catching up, throwing back some old memories, and it's it's been a lot of fun. I've shared, it's refreshing. So to do this, and I will be able to share a lot of the conversations that I've had through the week. Just recap and So let's really be disciplined on. So that's another topic we were talking about in the parking lot. Is sometimes when you throw something out there, you're held to that standard.
Right.
So when my old post was make somebody smile.
Yeah.
Every time I would see somebody like, hey, you made me smile, or hey, I smile. So I'm connected with a positive personality, and it's. Sometimes I want to get mad in public, and I'm like, I've got an identity of staying in a good mood. So I'm like,
can't let them show me. Can't let them see that side.
I can't let them see that I get mad.
No,
man, I do. So, but no, it's cool. So
Thursday's our day, but we'll let you know beforehand at some point. Just kind of keep an eye out. If you've got feedback too, or help with anything to kind of do something different, make a little change.
Yes.
Maybe you want to come join us sometime. Maybe you got something to add.
Oh, that'd be great. Like we said, we told the guy at Best Buy, we gave him our cards.
Yeah.
Just to say, look us up, man, because 1 year you're coming back, man. You're part of this thing.
Yeah. He said in 1 year we'll get you some better equipment. So we'll see. But anyway, appreciate all your time and checking us out today. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. See you.